Colts and Broncos, the next game that we're going to here. This is a very interesting game because it's in Denver. Both of these teams are coming off of bye weeks. So to
Mhm.
me, my matchup that matters is the two head coaches. It's Sean
Mhm.
Payton and Shane Steichen. You've now had a week to sort of think about things, and the Indianapolis Colts, the last game that they played was against the New England Patriots, and it was the thrilling, long drive for Anthony Richardson to get in the end zone and tie things up. Oh, wait, just kidding. They go for two. They end up winning the game, stealing one in New England. It was a beautiful manifestation of the confidence that Shane Steichen has in his young quarterback and great execution there. So a ton of momentum there from them. And then the last time we saw the Denver Broncos, it was that Monday Night Football game against the Cleveland Browns where they won 41-32. Okay, well, now all of a sudden you've had you've had 2 weeks now to get ready for this game. Does the running back rotation look the same? We had two 100-yard receivers for the Denver Broncos there in that Monday Night Football game with Courtland Sutton and Marvin Mims. What does that look like? How confident Bo Nix is playing? Like, this is, to me, this is a head coach matchup in this game. Extra time to prepare. That is the big time matchup that matters for this one, because the way that Shane Steichen was playing with Anthony Richardson before that bye week, I absolutely love that confidence that he was instilling in his young quarterback. And again, it manifested there in that final drive to win that game against the Patriots. And then it just feels like Bo Nix continues to get better and better and better under Sean Payton. We know the defense is playing well as well. This would be a huge game. This would be a huge game for the Colts to go in there and win. I don't know if they're going to be able to do it. What a massive win this would be on the road for them, having a thrilling road victory against the Patriots, a bye week, and then being able to go into Denver and get up a win and get themselves a win as well would be huge. I don't know if they do it because of what a well-oiled machine it feels like the Denver Broncos are, but to me, this is a head coach matchup and two really good head coaches going head-to-head in this one. What's your matchup that matters here?
Well, that actually kind of feeds into my plus factor here, which is a little bit less quantifiable for just a singular player or a singular matchup, but it is the plus factor here is the odds. So it's the two coaches going up against each other, but it's the playoff odds. These teams are playing for their postseason right now. If Denver wins, their playoff chances go up to 89%. If they lose, it goes down to 48%. If Indianapolis wins, their playoff chances go up to 56%. If they lose, it goes down to 8%. So if the Indianapolis Colts lose this game, they can pretty much kiss their playoff chances goodbye. And that is something that is the biggest motivating factor when you're talking about these games that are already going to be weird. Their interconference games are going up to Mile High Stadium in Denver, and you have everything on the line and everything to play for right now. So we talk about how, like, Jets, Jags, we don't know who has what to play for. In this game, both these teams have so much at stake. So that's kind of my plus factor here, is just the motivation that comes from knowing your season is on the line. And it's not hyperbolic to say that it lives and dies on this game, especially for the Indianapolis Colts. Not as much for the Denver Broncos, but that AFC playoff race, as much as we kind of think it's set, there's a lot of movement just kind of on the bubble teams versus the teams that are the lower seeds right now. There's still a lot of potential for movement there. So my plus factor is the odds.
Yeah, and somebody who they would love to have play the best that he has yet this season in 2024 is Jonathan Taylor. I think I brought him up as a plus factor for this team so many times because it just feels like an incredibly un-Jonathan Taylor-like season. He has not had a single rushing grade above 70 since week 3. Now, he's had 100-yard games here and there. Even against the Patriots, I think he had 96 rushing yards. You just go, okay, well, hold on, what gives? He is not forcing missed tackles in open space. His yards after contact is below 3 this season. And we're talking about playing behind one of the best offensive lines in the NFL. And we see with Saquon Barkley, not only is Barkley playing behind a great offensive line, he is individually making that run game exponentially better. Right now, Jonathan Taylor is running behind a great offensive line, and he is not individually making that run game better. And you could see that with the low missed tackles forced per attempt, which is sort of an individual stat that we'd love to sort of cite to talk about how running backs are changing things just by themselves. And then yards after contact, right? When you get hit, are you bouncing off of it? Are you getting those extra yards after contact? And in years past, Jonathan Taylor has, and he is just not this season. So if the Colts are not only going to win this game in Denver, but make the playoffs and be a legitimate playoff team, Jonathan Taylor has to be better. I cannot imagine them going on the run that they need to make the postseason if he doesn't start playing the best version of ball that he has played here in 2024. So to me, he is a plus factor in this game, but also a bigger picture plus factor for this team because of how well it feels like Anthony Richardson has the passing game going. Now, I don't want to jinx him and he has a terrible efficiency game, but we kind of know that's possible with Richardson anyways. Yeah. So that's all the more reason why you've got to be able to have confidence in who you hand the ball off to in Jonathan Taylor. So to me, he's been my plus factor before, but he has to be for this game because we're running out of time this season for the Colts to really be able to rely on him.
Yeah, and there's another component to this Colts offense that I want to talk about too, and that's Alec Pierce, because he has this potential for these incredible just down the field plays that you can see that Anthony Richardson has the arm for, but it's not always accurate. And that shows up in ways like Alec Pierce leads qualified wide receivers in yards per reception average at 21.9. His average depth of target by far leads the league, 22.6 yards down the field. But he only has 19 explosive catches. And the reason is because he's got only 14 catchable targets. So that's where you need Anthony Richardson to be able to find Alec Pierce and stretch this offense and make this offense a little bit more productive. Because, yeah, you're right. If you're going to round into a true playoff team, a contender in this conference, you're going to need to capitalize on things like that, whether it is on the ground or if it's through the air with a receiver that you are comfortable throwing to down the field. You just need to give him a better chance to actually come up with those plays and come up with more of those explosives that's going to move your offense down the field.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure you like and subscribe the video. And if you don't have a PFF Plus subscription, you can get one to see all the premium stats that we talked about here on the show, plus the expert betting and fantasy advice over at subscribe.pff.com. The description is also right below. So if you are not a PFF Plus subscriber, you can become one today.